This is The Process Shot. I'm Michael, I'm stuck in a haunted movie theater, and I've seen The Immigrant, a short silent comedy from 1917 directed by and starring Charlie Chaplin in one of his earlier appearances as the tramp character. The short is a two-part story, with Chaplin initially on a boat carrying immigrants from some kind of European country all the way over to America. Later on, he's seen penniless on the streets of New York, just trying to find a bite to eat. Along the way, he ends up in a few spots of trouble, whether it be trying to avoid seasickness, the wrath of angry gamblers, or just trying to make life comfortable for a woman he met on the ship. The story here is pretty simple, being less of a narrative and more of a character piece, with a look at Chaplin's character and how he deals with the situations set against him. There isn't much to develop in this sense, because the tramp is basically a figure of optimism and generosity despite his own status in society, and the story doesn't need him to be anything more than that. It's not so much a character as much as it is an idealized archetype, and it's a facet that's strung throughout all of Chaplin's films, really, and it's probably something I should have figured out sooner. Anyways, pretty much all of the film's other characters are simplistic in the same way, which isn't too much of a negative, but it does take away from the story having much weight or structure, wrapping itself up pretty quickly and neatly. But still, the film isn't so much about the story, but its characters and how they tackle the challenges of the new world. With the simplicity of The Immigrant comes the simplicity of the technical elements, or at least as simple and non-complex as silent films generally were at this point. Cinematography is pretty flat, of course, though there's plenty of tricks used within the frame when on the ship to simulate turbulence or cramped quarters. There's a nice variety of shots at least, though overall it's put to more practical use than for any visual gags in comedy. The film's editing is also pretty well handled, with shots lasting long enough to settle in for the viewer, or to make a point clearer for them, without dragging out the scene or overplaying a joke or emotion. Again, this is a film made early in the medium's history, so expecting something more creative is a bit of a long shot. In any case, what we do get is still pretty enjoyable, and at the end of the day, The Immigrant is a short that knows how to cut right to the heart of its characters and provide a wholesome experience, though perhaps one that could have had a bit more weight to its stakes and story. The Immigrant, Charlie Chaplin, 1917. 3.5 stars. I'd recommend giving it a watch. Anyways, that's it for me. If you like this review, leave it a like. If you didn't, leave a comment. Subscribe to the channel for more reviews. I'm not saying the short is forgettable, mind you. I just think it could have done more if it had a third act or something.